Okay, everybody, we're at the point where we are going to start our next section. This is part 3 of our layout exercise. So I just want to review what we've done this far. So far we've done this top part with this little navigation here, and then we just finished working on this here, okay, which is the sort of main navigation for the site. Now we're going to work on this new layout here, so let's take a quick peek at it in the mock-up. And you'll see here we have we have this sort of a graphical element here which we'll put in. The graphic element seems like it might be a placeholder for some kind of slider or some kind of widget slider or something like that. But we're just going to stick an image in there. And then we also have this this kind of column layout of this text. So we're going to deal with that too. And then we have this closing footer section down here. So that being said, let's go in and start writing this. So let's look at the HTML that we're going to be working with. Okay, first let's deal with the image element. So you'll see we have a div which is called main image, right? So let's go in here and write a style for that. So I'm going to go right down here, and I have an ID. Right, we'll say main image. Right, and we'll say background image, and I will put in a URL. Do that again. Didn't seem to get my I hate playing with this. And then I'll put in URL. And I'll look in my images folder here. And you'll see I have a file called mainimg.jpg. So we're going to put that in. Okay. And that's going to be a semicolon. Now I don't know what the height and the width of that is, but I know that the width of this should probably be 100%, because that's the width of the whole container, right? And then the height, for now, I'm going to have to guess, because I don't know what the height of that image is off the top of my head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say height, and I'm going to make it, let's make it 150 pixels to start. Okay, so now we'll take a peek at that. Okay, so there's the element right there. And 150 was a good guess. It looks pretty good. Now I do notice that it's riding right up against the navigation. And in my mock-up, you'll see there's a little bit of space there. Right? So we probably want to go in at this point and put in a margin dash top. And that margin top value, I don't know, make it 25 pixels. All right, let's see how that works out. Yeah, it's looking pretty good, right? Okay, that was easy. I told you that was going to be an easy part, right? Putting the widget in would be a harder part, but that's a little bit more advanced. So that being said, let's deal with these column layouts here, okay? So now let's look at our HTML and see what we're working with. So in my HTML, I have a tag called main, which seems to be the box on the left, and then I have a tag called aside, which seems to be the box on the right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write two styles, one for aside and one for main, and I'm just going to try to get the floats all working, okay? Because we're still going to have to manipulate the text and all that stuff, but if I can get these boxes set up right from the start, then actually changing them and doing the other styling is really just secondary. Getting the boxes aligned correctly is the primary concern. So let's see if we could pull that off. So what I'll do in my style here is I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a style called main. And I'm not going to do anything on it yet. And I'll do one called aside. Like so. All right. Now on main, okay, and I want to look at this mock-up a little bit, kind of analyze it. So here's my mock-up. Okay, so it looks like if I could get that, you notice how, see that border right there? If I could get that to line up right with that image right there, I'd be in really good shape, okay? So what I'm going to do, just so I can see what I'm working with, is I am going to put a border on each of these, right? So I'll say border, 1 pixel, solid, and red. And I'm going to do the same thing for a side. 1 pixel solid and red. Okay, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to start trying to manipulate this here. Now, I'll start off by saying let's make the width of this be, let's see, the whole thing is 750. I'm going to guess 550. I'm going to guess 575. That's what I'm going to guess, okay? And we'll do the height. I'll make that 100%. Okay? And then I'm going to float it to the left. Okay, so that's my starting point. Now for the aside, I'm going to do something similar where I'm going to go here and I'm going to say width. Now think about it like this. If the whole thing is 750 and I take off 575, that means it would be what? So 750 minus 575 is what? 750 minus 500. That's 250, and then minus 75 would be 175, right? So, or 125. No, 175, okay? So we're going to put in 175 px, okay? And then I'm going to do my height, once again, 100%. And then I'm going to float this to the right. Now this might not be necessary, okay, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, just so I can, oh, I forgot the semicolon there. That's important. See how I knew that so quickly? How did I know that so quickly? Because I saw that this is black, and I said, why is that black? Oh, there's a problem, because I forgot the semicolon. Now you see it recognizes it as being a property, so it makes it purple. Visual cues with an HTML editor. That's why they're such great tools. Okay, so let me just give this a quick save now and give it a quick show. Okay, now I want to show you this because it looks like it's a mess, and it is a mess in some levels. Okay, if we look at this, you'll see here's one of the problems with this kind of model when we start building it out. We have a float left, we have a float right. This is breaking to the next line. It looks like it's off by a few pixels. Okay, and then here we have the footer, which is riding up here on the top. Okay, so now if you see something like this, where a element that's down below is riding up at the top, that means you have some kind of floating issues, and a clear is probably necessary. So what I'm going to do at this point, just so I can build this out, is I'm going to jump ahead and I'm going to put my footer in place. Right? And my footer, okay, is going to have just a clear, both on it. And I just want to show you how much of a change that makes in this layout when we refresh it. So with the clear all, okay, you see how now, right, the footer dropped down to the bottom, right, and the layout's starting to look a lot better. Now this looks like it is off a little bit, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, and I remember I wanted this to be here, so I'm going to drop this down a little bit, and I'm going to drop this to, I'm going to do 500, right? And then I'll add, let's try 225 to that, right? And let's just see how we do. And that looks a lot, look at that, okay? That's fallen into place quite nicely, I must say. All right, now that's close. It's not quite lined up. So it's probably like 225 or 215 or something like that. So let's see, I want to get it exactly. So let's try 515. All right, let's see. No, 515 is too much. So 510. That's pretty close. Right, you see how it's really just lined up there? Okay.